Good evening, everyone. We really have a packed house tonight. I want to thank everyone for coming out to our regular board meeting. Today is March 5th, 2024. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You can all have a seat.
Trustee Mitchell. Trustee Middleton.
Here.
Trustee Njenga. Trustee Gale.
Here.
Trustee White.
Present.
Trustee Saunders.
Here.
VP Kelly. And President Kerwin.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Good evening, everyone. I would like firstly for everyone please to observe the artwork throughout the boardroom. This work was done by our students, and they do an amazing job. Tonight, there will be student performances, first by the Denzel Washington Jazz Band, and that will be followed by the E&L students from Grimes, who will be accompanied by a report from Dr. Cicello, the Director of E&L and World Languages, on multicultural celebrations. Jazz Band, please.
Enjoy the show tonight. Good to see everybody. Just gonna play a little Motown mix. All right. A little Motown mix, and we're gonna do a tribute to Bob Marley. Sweet and a lot of fun. Feel free to dance and clap and enjoy yourself if you feel compelled to do so. All right. Horns are ready! Ready! Bam, horns up! Head up! Head up. 1, 2, 3, bam.
much.
Thank you.
So next up, again, we'll have the E&L students from Grimes. They'll be accompanied by a report by Dr. Cicello, who's our Director of E&L and Rural Languages, and her topic will be on multicultural celebrations.
Thank you so much. You ready? So the students are going to come around. No. Mr. Davis, if you can click. So, my topic this evening was to discuss multiculturalism and what does it mean to be multicultural. In the Mount Vernon City School District, what is a multicultural school and a school district? Multicultural education is both a concept and a process. It embraces the idea that all of our scholars are valued and are worthy of social justice, equality, and equity. It celebrates the rich diversity of our scholars and their families by recognizing their many different global perspectives, cultural traditions, and heritages. What are the four approaches to multicultural education? There are four main approaches to multicultural education. They are the contributions, additive, transformative, and social action approaches. So if you look at the screen, you will see that the multicultural makeup of the Mount Vernon City School District is we are 7,665 scholars. Among those 7,665 scholars, we have 30 different languages that are the home language, the first language of our families in the district. So what we are doing in the month of March is we are celebrating, embracing and celebrating the cultures of our families, recognizing the diversity, recognizing the global perspectives, and bringing about cultural traditions. Next slide. This is one of our parents coming in to the Trapezian school doing a cooking demonstration of a typical dish. Next slide. This is at Mount Vernon Leadership, where in the dual language program, dual language is where both monolingual and bilingual students learn together and they exchange the language. One day they're taught in English, the next day they're taught all in Spanish. That's Dominican celebration and how we celebrate both Thanksgiving and incorporating it to the Feliz Dia de Acción. Next slide. This is also at Trapezian. And that's all of them together. And then this is actually our students. As you know, the Mount Vernon High School French program went to Paris, sharing the diversity of the district internationally, representing the Mount Vernon City School District. I heard from Ms. Toomey. I asked her if she wanted to come and present this evening, but she said she couldn't. But what she did tell me is the students had an amazing experience. So I'm hoping that this will be something we can continue, increasing our students to be global travelers and global ambassadors of the district. And lastly, this is the presentation from Grimes School, if you can hit the YouTube. After the YouTube video is finished, I'm then going to turn it over to their E&L teacher for just a quick conversation, and that would be Ms. Jocelyn Rios.
This time for Africa.
Next up is Miss Bergen's E&L chorus group. I am a dancer of accordions, trumpets, maracas, drums, and timbales.
Cheers, everyone. My name is Joycelyn Alfreda Rios, and I'm one of the E&L teachers at Grimes School, along with my colleague, Miss Bergen.
Sit back, ladies and gents, and be ready to be transported to MTV Grimes. Welcome the Cuban Queen herself. Next up is Celia Cruz.
The school felt it was necessary to acknowledge Hispanic Heritage Month because most of our E&L students are from a Latin country, and it's important to celebrate the diverse Hispanic people that made wonderful contributions to the United States. My role during the Hispanic Heritage season was team leader of the Hispanic Heritage Planning Committee and co-MC of I Have Wings to Fly. The main objectives of our big event were to showcase our E&L students and the beautiful Latin countries they originate from. The planning process for our Hispanic Heritage events involved a team of people that met every Tuesday for 2.5 months.
The first was when bachata culture was dancing. So yeah, it's true that dancing.
Was that your favorite part of the show?
Yes.
A few great highlights from the show were have our E&L students reciting and memorizing their scripts, all of the dance scenes in the show, having the Music Make Us Happy band play vibrant music and the audience standing up to dance at the end, and most importantly, having the audience listen to a poem made especially for Grimes by a world-renowned British author.
You hear me? Clap twice if you hear me.
Hispanic Heritage Show achieved its goal because it left the E&L students and audience wanting more. To this day, the students in the school ask, Mrs. Rios, when's the next show? And can I be part of it? If I had to organize this event again, what I would do differently is to showcase a new set of Latino artists, singers, musicians. So each year the audience will be intrigued. I had a phenomenal time hosting the show with David Sepulveda, one of our 7th graders. The lasting legacy I hope this event will have on the audience is a message that was delivered, which is, I have wings to fly. Again, my name is Joycelyn Alfreda Rios. On behalf of the Hispanic Cultural Team at Grimes School and the students, we thank you for watching and we hope you have a phenomenal day. Bye.
Hi, Angela Nigala here. I would like to give thanks to my cousin, Jocelyn Alfreda Rios, for giving me the...
Okay. All right. In Grimes School, the air is alive as Hispanic Heritage Month arrives, a time to celebrate with great pride, an ode to our Spanish heritage wide.
I have wings to fly. Frida Kahlo shared a mindset of strength, declaring she dared with feet that may wander. Our spirits soar high, together we'll show the world how we defy.
In this month of independence, we stand united by language, history in our hands. Hispanic speaking, Spanish or Spanish kin, we honor our roots. Let the festivities begin.
The stage is set, the auditorium gleams, as 28 students join the dreams. English as second language is our band together. We'll create harmony and beyond.
Efren takes charge with his talented band, drums, bass, piano, guitar, a Latin sound so grand. The rhythm of our heritage will fill the space, guiding us through the cultural embrace.
Miss Montier, a beacon of inspiration. Mrs. Rios, a sermon with heartfelt dedication, motivating us all with words held dear, igniting a fire with dispelling any fear.
Grimes School, a place where dreams take flight, honoring our heritage, shining so bright. With wings to fly, we'll spread our wings wide, celebrating our Spanish roots with great pride.
In this Hispanic Heritage Month, let us share the richness of our culture, the love we bear. Together we'll soar through the sky above, guided by the wings of heritage and love.
Okay, all right, to end our presentation, we're going to have a dance by Hadith. We want to thank everyone for watching. We'll just say that for the month of March for Women's Language Month, that each of the classrooms at Grimes will be adopted in a country, and will be presenting some type of bulletin board for the school on a famous woman in that country. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cicello, Mr. Cornelius, Ms. Reyes, and the E&L students from Grimes. Thank you so much.
There is no legal requirement to recognize public comment at the meetings of the Board of Education. However, the board recognizes the critical importance of community discourse and involvement in the education of Mount Vernon's children, and accordingly, members of the public are invited to speak at each regularly scheduled board meeting, subject to the terms of the board policy. Please state your name, address, and the organization, if any, you represent. A speaker must register in advance by no later than 4 p.m. the day of the meeting by contacting the district clerk in person at 165 North Columbus Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, by phone at 914-665-5235, or by email. The board welcomes all respectful comments, whether praise or criticism. However, identifying and criticizing a specific student, parent, teacher, administrator, other Mount Vernon education official, or employee is strictly prohibited. Any such complaint must be presented and addressed through the proper administrative channels. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to speak. Up to 1 additional minute may be used for the speaker to summarize and conclude their remarks. If appropriate, board trustees and/or the superintendent or other staff members at the direction of the superintendent may immediately respond to a speaker's remarks. Our first speaker tonight is John Favre.
John Favre, 780 Gramerton Avenue, Mount Vernon. I was here in the January meeting concerned about Christopher Columbus being removed from the school calendar. I asked you why. I understand you took action on that since then, and that Christopher Columbus has been replaced on the school calendar. Is that so? Can I get an answer? Has Christopher Columbus been replaced on the school calendar?
The board will be voting on that this evening, so we'll wait for the vote.
Okay, then I'll go into my original comments. I would like to know why Christopher Columbus Day was selected to be shared with Indigenous Day or removed from the calendar totally. Can I get an answer for that? I asked that question 2 months ago. You've had a month or so to think about it. I couldn't get a decent answer then. I would like to get a decent answer tonight. Why was Christopher Columbus selected to be ejected from the school calendar? There are 324 other individual days in the year in which nobody is honored. Only 41 days are honored throughout the 365. Why did you select Christopher Columbus to be rejected from the school calendar? A simple question. Can I get a simple answer, please? I guess I can't. Therefore, I'm going to, talk about a few other things. When I brought this up at the city council meeting, they said it was because of slavery. Christopher Columbus was not involved in slavery in any way, shape, or form. He traveled this world considerably. He was sponsored by Spain. The Spanish public rejoice him or consider him more a hero than even the Italian culture. So therefore, you are dealing with two different cultures here when you start dealing with the removal of an individual who paved the way to the new world, who was courageous enough to travel the Atlantic several times, who dealt with tribes that dealt with slavery going from Africa to Europe. Slavery was in those days a common event. So therefore, I do not want to hear that he was involved in slavery because that's fictional. I want to hear that he is being replaced on the calendar as of this year in his own individual day. Indigenous Day, if you want to look that up, can refer to trees, rocks, animals, or anything else. And indigenous tribes throughout the hemisphere in that time were dealing with slavery to the point where they were even cannibals. They were eating the tribesmen that they captured. They were using them for slavery. They sold them for their own personal greed and good. Are we going to change this issue after 500 years, or are we going to back to it? How are we going to redeem things? Will we need to go to something 500 years old in order to get recognized, or do you want to take care of today's problems that you have on the desk? Everything that's happening today, why don't you get involved in that rather than what's 500 years old and has no rate whatsoever? It was one of the highest.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you so much for your comment.
much. But you're going to hear me out. He was a patriotic honor,
Unfortunately.
and he was honored by the President of the United States. Thank you for your time. But I'll be back if you don't do the right thing.
Thank you. Charlene Clark.
Good evening, everyone. In a moment, okay. My name is Charlene Clark. I am a teacher at Hamilton Elementary School. I'm also a member of the Mount Vernon Federation of Teachers. I was introduced to Mount Vernon's educational system in 1998 after acquiring my bachelor's degree from an HBCU. Working within communities, serving people that looked like me was encouraged during my undergraduate studies. In this district, I've worked in the capacity of a substitute teacher and a teacher's assistant before becoming a highly qualified teacher. During my tenure as a teacher here, I have served as a cheerleading coach and implemented various programs, such as a tutoring program before and after school, and Dress for Success. Each of these roles I played required resources and/or funds, which I provided. These efforts do not even cover the time dedicated to providing food, clothing, and supplies and nurturing for my students who require this. None of this work received any monetary gain. Did I mention that I did all of this while teaching grades 5 and 6? Back then, materials to teach were readily available, a definite curriculum was set, somewhat adequate training was provided, and teachers gave an immeasurable amount of time and effort. Teachers also received wages that were competitive with surrounding districts. The reward was having blue ribbon schools and teachers who wanted to stay in this school district. Since then, we have watched district administrators come and go. Curriculum changes to the point of bare bone programs and resources, yet increasing demands on teachers, and experiencing a pandemic which forced teachers back into the classroom, leaving an indelible mark on them. How has money been managed since then? A paltry per diem rate and a salary that is not competitive with surrounding districts are kept up, the districts that are not keeping up with the inflation, which has caused this district to lose teachers at an alarming rate. Meanwhile, district administrative personnel have received salary increases and stipends for additional work that should be listed in their job description. May I add, 2 superintendents are currently being paid. What is the excuse for not giving teachers in Mount Vernon what they are due? A budgetary crisis, which is in part by a mismanagement of funds, yet we are being told that the potential budget cut by the governor is the sole reason. I beg to differ. For years, we have taken our meager salary increases. Today, I'm here to say we want a fair contract that is comparable to other school districts, and we want it now. Thank you very much.
Glenn Behrman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Glenn Barham. I've been a teacher in Mount Vernon for 28 years. I remember coming back in the mid-90s and wanting to be nowhere else but in Mount Vernon because of one reason, and it was not the money. It was because I loved the kids. That is why. Those of you that know me, many of you do, know that I go out of my way, both in and outside the classroom, to make sure my kids not only succeed in math, because that's what I teach, but also everything outside of that. And I have students going back 15, 20 years that will message me on Facebook, give me all kinds of accolades saying, you were the reason that, you were the reason why I did this or that. And I look back and realize that's why I became a teacher, because of those reasons and because of the kids that I just saw today. I got to tell you, recently I actually had a small hope, glimmer of light. Dr. Smith came to our school early in the year and said, congratulations to Mount Vernon High School. You guys actually brought your school from TSI, which is Targeted Support Improvement, to a school in good standing. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, is this the part where we're actually going to get a contract and get something that's going to be at least semi-comparable with the enormous inflation that we see every day? You go into the supermarkets, when eggs goes from $2 to $3.50, that's not a 3% inflation like everyone says. That's a lot more than that. So when I see my fellow colleagues that are just starting up, and they're here for 1, maybe 2 years, and then leaving, as my esteemed colleague just said, we are losing every good teacher that walks in this door because of this very reason. We are not getting paid. Not getting anything. And because of that, I can imagine me, who's been here nearly 3 decades, compared to someone who's brand new, they're not making it. They're not. They're going home. They can't make it from one day to the next, just paying their rent, paying their bills, and putting food on the table. And I got to tell you, out of everyone that I know, the ones who are getting shafted equal, if not more, than the teachers are my esteemed security staff. Right in the back right there. This year alone, I know as a fact that my security staff, and I say this because they're like brothers and sisters to me, almost 10 of them left with bad injuries, and they are barely making minimum wage. Some of them are making $1 over. That's just appalling, okay? And then on top of that, I know as a fact that 2 of the jobs that one of these people have are paying more working at McDonald's and Walmart. That's pitiful. So I had to bring that up because aside from just the teacher status, they are due a fair contract as well because they don't have it as well. So I look forward to the day when we put as much effort into a championship team as we just had at Mount Vernon High School, and we put that championship back in our classrooms. Thank you.
Jacqueline Simone.
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Simone, and I'm a teacher at Mount Vernon High School, 100 California Road. And I'm here as a representative to all those people out there wearing blues. At Mount Vernon High School, our principal has declared this year as the year of impact. Well, I'm here before you tonight because I believe that both parties, Mount Vernon School District and the Mount Vernon Federation of Teachers, can and should come to an equitable agreement for a new contract. We, teachers, teachers' assistants, securities, counselors, and librarians, and many more have been working for almost 2 years without a contract. And up to this point, only a few members have said very little. However, that will change going forward. Members are ready to voice and be heard. And it is often said that our members are the heart of Mount Vernon School District. So why are we treated again and again with disrespect? It is necessary that the administration, the board trustees, understand how imperative it is that a contract be settled with a reasonable increase, compatible salaries to our bordering school district in Westchester. Where once teachers were coming in droves from New York City to Mount Vernon, well, now teachers are living in droves to return to the city. Why? Better pay, better benefits, and better working conditions. Although Mount Vernon School District has been on the news regarding cutbacks from the state, the district is also offering retirement incentive to senior teachers to step down from their position to save money. Oh, and let's not forget the elephant in the room. The fact that Mount Vernon School District has also mismanaged funds in the past and is costing our district further financial burden. However, this is Butkus. How is any of this facts our fault? The school district is not presenting a solution, but is further creating, one, for members to leave on their own accord to districts that offer more money, better benefits, and better working conditions. Number two, offering a retirement incentive that would only increase large class sizes because of no teachers. This district continues to take our members without considering how much our members monetarily give to our children and to the very community. Did you know that 90% of our members who are here tonight are the ones that buy the t-shirts, the candy, the food, when there is a fundraiser for any event to support our programs and our school activities? Did you know that your idea of PBIS to reward students in class comes from our pockets where we purchase the water and the healthy treats? Okay? And do we get compensated? The answer is no. Do you know that our members give $10 to $20 for breast cancer, autism, food drive, holiday fundraisers, scholarships? And do you know where that money goes? To our community, to our children. Did you know that when chaperones are needed for the prom, teachers have to pay for their own ticket? It is not free, and teachers do not get compensated. And did you know that we have a donation-based boutique started by a teacher and supported by this staff? Okay? By not negotiating, you're clearly showing the public that you do not care about the heartbeat of Mount Vernon School District that continues to give without consideration of how much pocket money and time it is costing us. Your members continue to endure embarrassment, disrespect, insults taken for granted, and we are very, very angry. Get it through your heads. It's time to settle our contract.
Monica Fernandez? Monica Fernandez?
I'm declining. Jackie Simone said it all.
Yes. Lawrence Lee? Do we have a Lawrence Lee?
Do we have a...
Richard Anderson?
And...
Corinne Daly Minto? No.
That's it for public comments. Oh, Tom Keller, that's right. Sorry, Tom. You're at the bottom.
Thomas Keller, 12 Pasadena Place, 10552. The closest I can get to the teachers is my wife is a retired school teacher, almost 30 years, retired 5 or 6 years ago from the Grimes School. I can't believe someone's chaperone and they have to pay for their own ticket to go to an event. That's insane. Anyway, as a follow-up to the gentleman from the high school, Mount Vernon boys basketball team is playing tomorrow night, 5:15, according to the Journal News, Yorktown High School against Elmira. Coach Semino has done a fantastic job this year. They lost 6 games. I went to most of the games this year at the high school, and there's a kid named Tavion Tyler, 5'6" with an afro. He's about 5 feet without the afro. He's the quickest thing on 2 feet. It's a pleasure to watch him play. Charter a bus and go to the game tomorrow night, you people. All right, Columbus Day. Follow up to John Farber, the great John Farber. That upon the recommendation of the acting superintendent of schools, this Board of Education approves an update to the 24-25 school calendar as follows. October 14, 2024, Columbus Day / Indigenous Day. Please see attached updated calendar. I want you to strike Indigenous Day and say Columbus Day. And if you have to go to executive session to do that when the resolution comes out, by all means do it. We got a half a loaf. We want a full loaf. We're not sharing it with indigenous peoples. They have Friday after Thanksgiving, and they have the whole month of November. Bush 41 declared in 1990, whenever he was president, not Bush 43, George H.W., Indigenous Peoples Month, the month of November. That's enough. We don't have to push out Columbus. And we're coming back with the petition if you don't change it. Now, I'm very disturbed that we changed auditors. Ken Silver told me you changed auditors because Ken Silver was too close to the auditors. I'm also very disturbed that...
Mr. Keller, excuse me. I have to remind you that you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot say anyone's name. If you want to continue, please.
Well, I'm saying this. Ken Silver was the best chief financial officer that this district has had. I've worked with Elia Benedictus under Patella and Riley. I've worked with John Doherty under Ross. I've worked with John Quinn. Stop what?
Just told you can't be using names. You can't say nobody.
So what do I have to say? Somebody that served from 1990 to 1995 and then nobody knows the name?
Let him finish his story.
Mr. Keller, okay, you have 1 more minute if you could just wrap it up, please.
Under 5 or 6 chief financial officers,
yes.
Ken Silver by far was the best one. He had more knowledge of the district than any of them. He was a pleasure to work with. Anytime I had questions, come into the office tomorrow. I'll spend time with you. You can't take the budget home because you're not a trustee, but I'll go over it with you. It's too bad he didn't stay until the budget gets proposed this year. And by the way, so everybody knows, the city of Mount Vernon owes this district somewhere between 23 and 27 million, depending on whether you add interest. This will be as of June 30th this year. If the city paid the district when they were collecting taxes, and even after the district is collecting their own taxes, we wouldn't be in distress, according to Thomas DiNapoli, the state controller. By the way, I hope your sojourn to Albany last week was successful, and we restored the $2.8 million in foundation aid. In the past, the governors have proposed something, and the legislature increases it, and the districts get hold harmless. If you lose students, you don't lose your aid. So hopefully you get on Gary Pretlow, the governor, and Jamal Bailey, and get that $2.8 million restored.
Mr. Keller, I must ask you to please wrap it up.
You'll hear from me again.
Thank you so much. Yes.
In 2 weeks.
Okay. Have a good evening.
And one more thing. Is anybody from is Ingham and Smith here tonight? Anybody from Ingham and Smith? Back on the 15th of February, the only board meeting in February, you posted 4 contracts and there were no details. How could someone comment on these when there were no details? It was posted the next day. That's probably a violation of state law.
Thank you so much, Mr. Keller.
And that ends our committee, ends our public comment. Reports to the superintendent.
Good evening again, everyone.
Everybody gets fined. There was a strike back in 1990. And there were strikes.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the Westchester Putnam Central Labor Body, the Mount Vernon Federation of Teachers, and Keith McCall for coordinating the rally against cuts to foundation aid. The rally was held last Friday, March 1st, at the Benjamin Turner Academy. Politicians, board members, cabinet members, administrators, staff, and students came together to fight to have Governor Hochul restore Mount Vernon City School District foundation aid. We asked the Mount Vernon community to let their voices be heard by the state and representatives to assist in addressing our fiscal concerns. We have already begun meeting and lobbying with legislators. We had a productive meeting with the New York State Commissioner of Education, Betty Rosa, who is very supportive to the district. We are exploring every avenue to find the resources that our scholars need. Losing $2.9 million next year would be catastrophic. For several years, a total of over $11 million in taxes was not delivered to the district from the city. We even began collecting our own taxes to remedy this situation. While I am grateful that the city is paying us the money owed to us in back taxes, that was a trial for our district, and it put a strain on us. When we create a budget each year, we have our taxpayers in mind. Amazingly, over the past 5 years, we have had 4 years of 0% tax increase, whereby we only raised the tax levy once in 2021 to 2022 by just 0.5%. A decrease of the $2.9 million in our budget would make it impossible to continue this trend. We know that members of our communities might have difficulties paying a tax increase, and we do not want to make them pay for this setback. While our total taxes may have gone up in past years, we want to assure the community that in most cases, this was unrelated to the Mount Vernon City School District, with increases coming from other public tax collecting bodies. Despite our recent financial trouble, we have been able to fully fund our district effective educating our scholars with minimum cuts to staff. We have even made academic improvement, as shown by last year's NYSED testing data, all despite our fiscal stress. Our community is one Mount Vernon. I hope that everyone can see how hard we are working to fund our staff and programs. Please join us in lobbying the governor to alter the proposed budget to include those $2.9 million for Mount Vernon scholars. I am urging everyone to write to the governor's office and state legislators, imploring them to cut this much-needed funding to our district from the state's budget. With your voice added to our request for foundation aid, we can show just how important this funding is for the Mount Vernon City School District. It is truly imperative for us. In the meanwhile, I would also like to make a plea to the many influential figures with connection to our great city. For example, Denzel Washington, Ludacris, P. Diddy, and anyone who could help our school district, please do not hesitate. Please note that we heard your concerns, and as a result, we have a tab this evening to approve and observe October 14th, 2024 as Columbus Indigenous Day. Also, congratulations goes to the Mount Vernon City boys basketball team for winning the Section 1 basketball championship. Kudos goes to Coach Semino, his team, and the Mighty Knights for their dedication and hard work. Thank you.
No Indigenous Day
Committee
related to Columbus.
Committee reports.
It will be a separate holiday as stated by the federal government.
Okay, we start with Trustee Gale.
Yeah, just a reminder that the Family and Community Engagement Committee will be hosting a financial wellness seminar next Thursday at STEAM Academy, 6 p.m. All are invited to attend.
What day is that?
I'm sorry, that's Thursday, the 14th, March 14th,
At what time?
6 p.m.
At
the STEAM Academy.
STEAM Academy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Trustee Middleton.
Want to say good evening. Want to say good evening to everyone. And I do want to say, as a bishop of this city, as a pastor, as a community leader, and a trustee, that I speak again to 5 powerful words. And my quote again is that we reap what we sow. And on that note, I want to thank God for every recognition done by those schools who acknowledged famous Black Americans across the globe during Black History Month. I want to give a special recognition to the second graders who did a phenomenal job at Nelson Mandela Jose Zalakafa School, and their teachers, Simone Oliver and Namala Lewis, and all those who took the time to make that day a great presentation and a great day. And it was an awesome presentation on February 28th honoring the untold stories of the African American journey. So I want to say great job to those students, great job to those teachers, and I want to say kudos to Ms. Abby and to Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Trustee Saunders.
Hi, talking about the HR committee. The HR committee met, I believe, on the 29th, and we discussed a new policy called workplace violence prevention. So that's going to be on our resolution tonight. That's pretty much all I have. I believe I met with the city regarding the back taxes, and they said there was they weren't computing right as far as what we owe and what they owe, what the taxpayers owes, and what in their system and what is in our system. So there was some type of VPN problem, and I believe that that's something they were working out with IT. So more to come on that, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee White.
Yes, I'm with the Facilities Committee. I'm sure you can hear me. Things that have been done in the school system. We replaced Homeschool's 100-gallon water heater, and it was done in-house. We installed new 4 feet exhaust line for a new 3D printer in Mount Vernon High School print shop. That was also done in-house. Mount Vernon's high school boys' locker room has been, sorry, I forgot my glasses, has gone through they have new lighting fixtures, 2 new sinks, a new toilet, they patched the walls, replaced some missing tiles. All of this was done in-house, which saved us some money. And in 2 weeks, they will be painting. Also, we installed gates with panic bars at Mandela's playground to secure the playground area. We installed 8 door alarms on the first floor, exit doors at Pennington School, all done in-house. All district roll-down kitchen doors have been inspected. All tank work has started in 6 schools, painted 10 classrooms and 2 hallways at Grimes School, all in-house. We're saving money by doing our jobs in-house with our own staff, and I thank them for their dedication to our students, our building, and the grounds. Thank you.
Thank you. VP?
I want to report on the Education Committee. We're moving on the Greenhouse Initiative to improve our students' curriculum that would incorporate ecology. We also discussed the summer school, that we will be not using all the buildings. There is no final on that. Dr. Doggett, if you want to expand on that for the summer school.
Yes, Dr. Jones.
Well, we will not be opening all the buildings, right? In a bid to kind of take care of some of the buildings.
Dr. Jones made a proposal for summer school. It's just a proposal on the table right now, and there's specific schools that may be open. Not all schools may be used, and certain programs will be combined in other buildings like the high school, so you can have multiple programs in one building.
Okay, and then we discussed the science of reading being incorporated. You went to a workshop.
Yes, we went to a workshop, Mary Beth, myself, and Dr. Jones on a literacy brief. We talked about the science of reading, key myths and ideas. We spoke about the high impact practices and how we're going to embed the science of reading into the curriculum that we already have. We've been doing it, but they broke down a specific way with these high impact practices and how that's distributed across pre-K, elementary, and secondary. So we're taking that information back and we're going to revise our program accordingly.
So we are moving on the educational front.
Yes.
Okay, and so that concludes the...
I have one more thing to say. It's not with oh, you finished? It's not with facilities, but we will be having a job fair April 11th?
Yes, April 11th.
April 11th at Mount Vernon High School. So all those that are in need of jobs, get your resumes done.
Thank you so much. Okay, as far as the Budget Committee, we met yesterday, and we discussed, of course, the cut in the foundation aid and the impact to the district that would cause. We also, Business Superintendent, who is new to the job, Ms. Sandra Mike, we discussed the budget itself, and she informed us that she's working diligently to balance the budget for the upcoming school year. We also discussed, which was it's very hot topic for the trustees, among the trustees, a lot of concerns surrounding budget transfers. Each meetings, there are a lot of budget transfers that we don't understand, and so we wanted to get an understanding as to why the business office does so many budget transfer. We were told that those transfers represent shortage for payment to contractors, payment to, whether it's emergency charges or invoices that come into the district or outstanding bills that needs to be paid. Now, going forward, I think everyone that's on the committee, we all agreed that we have to do a better job. When I say we, the business office, have to do a better job in managing the expenses that come out of that office. We are short, not only on the $2.9 million cut that we are coming down, but we also have a deficit. And so spending, we have to tighten up on our spending. There's no way that a contract, and I'm going to say this, there's a contract that came in for $10,000. It was executed by the business office, but then after a couple of months, that $10,000 turned into almost $300,000. That cannot continue. That is bad practice. And so we definitely needs to tighten up on that. No one should be circumventing either the processes in getting a contract. I understand that $10,000, the business office could sign off on a $10,000 contract, but that contract should be signed off also by the superintendent if it doesn't come to the board. We would like to see transparency coming out of the business office and also accuracy going forward. And that's all we have. Also, going from the business office, we would like to also see better control measures into the business office. More than one person, if one analyst or clerk is doing their work, there has to be someone that do quality control over that person day-to-day work. In that way, we cut down on all the mistakes, especially in the payroll department. We do have to straighten that out. So I have to say, Ms. Sandra Mike, I welcome you to the job, and you have a hard task ahead of you, but we are right here working together. So thank you so much. And we look forward to the balanced budget in a couple of weeks. Thank you. And that ends our community report.
Do you have any old business? Okay.
I just want to remind you guys, we're supposed to have a meeting with Armonk tomorrow at 11 o'clock. A sit down with Armonk at 11 o'clock in the district office. Is that still going on? Do you know? No? Okay. I'll confirm that tomorrow. Okay. About food service. I think that was something about food. Okay.
Okay, we're going to move on to our resolutions.
Yes.
So can I have a motion for 5.1, approval to establish 2 additional positions for payroll clerk?
Motion.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
I just want to ask why. Just want an explanation to that. Why we need 2 additional payroll clerks.
Right now, there's only...
I'm sorry.
You have to push, you have to hold.
Currently, there's only one person in the payroll department doing payroll, and we have 2 consultants. In the absence of another, the payroll clerk who is not currently working, we need to hire 2 people. Historically, as you probably are aware, we had 3 payroll clerks, 1 for admin, 1 for teachers or certified, and 1 for CSEA. So there's a dire need for 2 payroll clerks.
So we also going to keep the 2 consultants?
No, no.
Okay, so we not going to keep the consultants, but we hiring 2 to
Right.
replace those consultants? Is that what we're
Consultants are
doing?
now doing what the payroll clerks would be doing.
Okay.
That was my question about the consultant, so, all right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 5.2, Human Resources 100A, certified?
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 5.3, Human Resources Resolution 100B, classified?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Oppose? Abstain? Oh. Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 6.1, approval to update the 2024-2025 school calendar?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 7.1, approval of student services, pupil personnel services memorandum number 14, dated March 5th, 2024?
Motion.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 8.1, authorization to revise bid number 23-24-25 to bid number 23-2405 for BSN Sports?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 8.2, authorization to enter into a piggyback contract agreement with VP Total Bus Incorporated?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
I have a question. Could someone explain exactly what this represents?
Show you the price of the bus.
So we have a student who is placed at a district and they have to be transported, and none of our current bus route will be able to do that. So we have to enter into an agreement with another school district and bus company in order for that student to be transported to school.
Okay, any more questions or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.1, approve general funds transfers 2023-2024, dated March 5th, 2024?
Motion.
Second. Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain?
Aye.
Did you?
I said aye. Abstain, yes.
Okay, it's not going to pass. Okay? Motion fails.
So do the next one.
Do the next one. Can I have a motion for 9.2, authorization to approve an increase for purchase order 240163?
Motion.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Abstain? 9.2? Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.3, authorization to approve an increase for purchase order 241219?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
I have some details of all these
all increases.
It's in there.
increases,
Transfer.
budget,
These are the transfers that I was talking about that we discussed in the budget meeting, but if someone, please explain the transfers. These are transfers, if you could just...
No, I think you were talking about the purchase orders, Wanda.
Yeah, but it's in there.
Wanda, I think you were talking about the purchase orders from the last board meeting, not these transfers.
These are in there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, these are in there.
We're good.
Like this one.
Okay.
So it's transfer. So it's nothing.
Yeah, we're good with the transfers.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.4, authorization to approve an increase for purchase order 240560?
Motion.
I need a second.
Second. This is for...
Questions, concerns, discussions?
So I have a question. Is it the same? It seems like it's just repetitive. Is it the same
But that part is...
transfers that from 9.5 and 9.6? Is it the same?
This is what happens when you have
See, this is different.
So you have the transfer
some people might
documentation.
You have to vote on that. The second documentation is to increase the PO. So the board also has to vote on that. So there's a transfer that's asked, you vote yes, then now you have to vote on the increase of the PO to pay the bill. That's why it seems like it's twice. So if you owe me $100, you vote to pay me the $100. Then you have to vote to increase my PO because my bill was $105. That's what it is. So it's 2 votes.
Change order.
That's why I said we don't even talk
So
about
it's a change order and the POs?
Yes.
Okay, for the increase. Okay. See, these are the confusion that we need to avoid going forward. I know it's probably going to take a couple of months before it gets seamless, but we do, it's very confusing with all these transfers and the increase. So going forward, if we could probably please
No
let
fault
us...
of hers, right?
No, but what I'm saying
Make
is...
sure it's noted.
Right, that is noted, yeah. Because it's very confusing. Okay, so we can move forward.
Oh, she wants to talk to me.
Okay.
Because I need you to vote on my nurses.
No. All those in favor for 9.4?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.5, authorization to approve an increase for purchase order 241261 for Delta?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
I had a question about this, and Mr. Ramundi explained it to me, but I see he has a bunch of papers, so he's going to explain 9, 6, 7, and 8. So for the board members that needed an explanation.
Where are we?
Okay.
We're at 9.5, but.
Yeah, but these are all the same.
They all the same, though, so you may as well explain all of them.
Might as well explain all.
I'll go through them all
Thank you.
briefly. Good evening, everybody. So this is the backup for all of the budget transfers. So when we transfer a budget transfer, we take money from one line and put into another line. It just stays in that line. What we do is we attach the separate PO to increase the amount that we agree to pay these vendors from that specific line. So they're linked. It's like Q and U in the alphabet. One follows the other. Now, this is I would say the backup for those PO increases, which are tied to the budget transfers. So this is Renew's backup of all the documentation they've done throughout the district, which is the reason for the PO increase and the budget transfer. This here is Crown. And then this one is Delta. Well, I mean, no, Delta, you can see, it's the largest pile. And so why are they that large? When we enter into an agreement with the company through Ed Data or OGS contracts, we award that one company 100% of the business in that area. So for instance, Delta, they do all the electrical work in the district. Anything we cannot do in-house, we enter an agreement with the electrical company. From changing the lights up, in the ceiling to rewiring wall sockets to running Cat 6 wiring for technology upgrades. You name it, they do it, which is why they have such a massive PO, because they do 100% of the work. Same thing with Crown. Crown has two POs, one for HVAC systems and then one for boilers. And then Renew is kind of an all-around contractor where they allow us to do business with them specifically for doors, flooring, certain remediations, but also they act as an umbrella company for those really obscure contracts, like let's say pull down gates, where it's hard to find somebody to do that. They have piggyback contracts through other vendors that we can do the work on the record legally and then quickly. So with all that, with a school district that has almost a $300 million budget and our building assets of close to $1 billion, that's why the amounts are so great, because we're servicing a lot of, we're servicing the entire district. So that's where we arrive at these numbers.
So what is the approval process for change orders?
So
for new POs, for increase, what's your approval process? Who approved those?
So right now you would approve these.
No, before it gets to us, who approved them? The contractors comes to who?
Okay, so every year, actually a lot of our contracts are up after this year. So let's say we go on a state bid and we want someone to pick up our garbage. We pull from the bid list, we get the best price, or sometimes we get the company that can perform the best work with a competitive price. Now, all these companies are vetted by New York State so that everybody is in compliance and everyone follows those rules and regulations. We present it to the board. You would say, okay, we're going to agree to enter into a contract with this company at these fixed prices, which are fixed for 3 years, and with the option to extend every year of those 3 years. So let's say we agree on this company here, the water bottle company. We like them. They're doing great business. After 1 year, we're going to continue the next year and the next year. And then at the end of those 3 years, then we go out to bid again. But let's say this water bottle company, we're not satisfied with them. At the end of that year, when we decide whether or not we want to renew them, we decide to discontinue services. So that gives us that option and that leeway. Now, once we agree upon that water bottle company, we decide, okay, how much work do we expect them to perform for us? How much do we think it's going to cost us throughout the year? And that's where we will use our budget line, create a realistic PO, and then that should be put forward. So I don't know what would happen before I got here, but a lot of it was paying last year's bills with this year's money. A lot of it was like a quick starter PO, like for say $10,000 is just something quick to get on the books. What should have happened was a follow-up for a more realistic PO immediately after, not all this time later. Again, I don't know why it happened that way. It just happened that way. So now it's more, us, you guys at the board, we are the cleanup crew to get it right, to clean it up, and now we draw straight lines moving forward. So that's what Sandra and I are working very hard on, so that when we do put these POs out, this is our realistic expectation of how much we should be spending. And some of these POs, I put more money in because I don't want to come back here and say, oh, I need some more money. Like, I believe that some of these funds will carry us for the rest of the year, but as Sandra said earlier, we might be back in 2 weeks and every 2 weeks subsequently afterwards because we don't know what it's going to be. Because, again, what should have been done in the beginning was not done, and we're now here to straighten it out, close out the year fresh, so that moving forward, we're never in this situation again.
So how many people on the approval process before it gets to us?
Before it gets to you? It would be, it depends on the, well, so I'll just use me as an example. So we pull from the state list, I'll get the names, I'll vet them. There's a committee to open up the bids or the RFPs, so that once we tally them up, then it goes to the RFP committee. We all vote on, this is the company we want to use. Then it would go to the business office to decide, okay, let's attach this budget line, let's decide on this PO. Then that would all that legwork would be done and vetted and then presented to you, the board, and then you'd say, yes, we agree, this looks good, let's move forward. That's how it should be. That's how I want it to be. That's how we all want it to be, because that's the only way to do business at this level.
I think what's confusing.
Oh, when it's a change. So when it's a change,
Yeah, the
we
change
look at,
orders.
okay, there's not enough money in this PO. There's not enough money in this budget line. I apologize, to pay these invoices. So what we have to do is, okay, how much is in the line? If there's not enough money in that line, okay, let's look at other lines that have additional funding that's not being utilized, because the budget is just, it's a projection, and it all comes from the same pot. So we might put money in different places, but the year changes. So, okay, we're not utilizing this funding source, let's move that money over here and pay for this vendor. So then we would do a budget transfer into the appropriate line, because only certain lines can pay for certain items or certain actions. Then from there, we look at the PO, where if a PO is only for $100,000 and we owe them $190,000, all right, well, even if the money's there, we legally can't pay them because there's that system of checks and balances. So we'll move the money, then we'll decide, okay, let's increase the PO to we can do an exact amount PO, or we can do an open PO, which we can increase our payments, which sometimes is better for certain vendors that are on a continuous wheel with us. That gets presented to the board, you guys vote on it, and it's done.
Do you want to say something?
Oh, okay.
Whatever department decide that there's not enough money in the PO, they'll fill out a change order form, and they will put how much the original PO was and what they want it increased to. Then it comes to me, and I'll approve it.
So
you are not approving.
So when we get these companies and we say, okay, we're going to do work for you have a contract to do work in the Mount Vernon City School District. They don't give us a dollar amount. We just say, okay, you could do work, and then they just bill us for whatever.
Give us the labor rate.
Okay, so there's no dollar amount, not to exceed a certain dollar amount.
Certain jobs. Oh, thank you. So it depends on what it is. If it's a specific job, then we'll get a dollar amount. But otherwise, we get the labor rate on it's X amount of dollars per hour per individual. And that's what New York State approves it, where, okay, this is the certified payroll, this is the legal wage requirements, and here's what we charge. And if there's a markup, they agree upon that markup, so that so you know the cost up front, and so that way we can kind of anticipate. Well, they're going to bill us for 1,000 hours at this labor rate. We know we have to put X amount of dollars in to cover that. But if it's job specific, then we know an exact price, and we can kind of negotiate on certain things. Like, for instance, our roofing contract with Precision Roofing, we were able to agree upon a set number. They don't have an open PO. There's no guesstimate. We know exactly how much they're going to charge us, and Mike and I worked to negotiate a much lower price, and they said, okay, and then great. Now we know that that's a finite number that we can attach to, so we have a hard cost expectation for all the work that's being provided.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I wish it was simpler.
And all this work was done, everything's done, we're doing these transfers, because you said that you put more in one than you needed.
So for instance, like, we're in the beginning of March. I put more into this purchase order here because it's ongoing work throughout the district. So I want to make sure that there's enough money to carry us through. And that's what it should be. Like, if this was done right from the first time, if you project $200,000 worth of work from a company, put 200,000 in, don't put 100, because you're going to come back and say, hey, we have to move funds. So what I'm trying to do is anticipate what our spending will be for the remainder of the school year and put that in. Now, some companies I was able to do that, other companies I wasn't, and there's a little bit more, but I don't like it, but I may have to come back and say there's more work that needs to be done, and we need to pay them.
And we are straightening that out.
100%.
And those,
We are not going to be in this situation next year.
those documents you have there are invoices that have been paid or to be paid?
These are invoices that need to be paid.
Invoice needs to be paid.
That's a lot.
All of them.
And so we are verifying that the work that the contractors said are done, we are verifying that the work
Correct. Because it's done.
complete.
Yes.
So somebody signed off on that. The building principal, the head custodian, everyone.
Whomever
signed off.
would give that job out. So it's a holistic approach, but it's done at a granular level where there might be, let's say, a string of outlets that need to be wired in classroom 103. And so, okay, they'll come in, they'll do classroom 103, and then, so, okay, we see classroom 103 is done, and then here's the breakdown in here, and they submit the invoice. So, it's a district-wide, but it's approved at a building level.
So those invoices is for months?
Years?
Years?
Months. This is,
Goes back until when?
it goes back till, some of these go back till July.
July of last year?
July, well, yes, of 2023.
Okay.
See, yes, school year.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hopefully, we're going to streamline the process going forward after we
Yes.
get over this hump. Yeah?
We just have to get over the hump.
Yes, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Motion carries. She's
That was funny.
Can I have a motion for 9.6, authorization to approve an increase for purchase order number 240969, Crown?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.7, authorization to approve change order increase for purchase order 240573 for Compan Inc.?
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
Yes. Can someone explain what this is? Oh, you want me
He
to
explained all that.
I thought it was the...
He did them all up to 9. He did all up to 9.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.8, authorization to approve change order increase for purchase order 240709 for White Glove Community Care?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.9, authorization to approve change order increase for purchase order 240719 for Renew Contracting and Restoration, Inc.?
Motion.
Second.
Would you like to say something?
Oh. What is happening? I'm working. No.
Say we don't have enough. So we go back. So So it's the same. So we could talk about it after. I'll put it on the floor.
Okay. So, questions, concerns, discussions for 9.9? Oh, I needed this, you second, right? You guys are making me crazy. Questions, concerns, discussions for 9.9? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.10, authorization to enter into an agreement with Mamaroneck Union Free School District for the 2024-2025 to bid jointly for coach bus transportation services?
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
So what's this about?
Could someone explain what we're going to be doing
This is
with
not-
the coach buses?
This is not the,
Nine
It's
point.
piggybacking on the bus system with Mamaroneck to bid.
Yeah, that was it.
I believe this is to transport our students for games. So, yeah, so we are joining the bus system, just like we did for the other student. Sometimes we don't have the route, and we have to join with other districts in order to provide transportation to our students. So that's what we do with the piggybacking.
Thank you. All those in favor? Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.11, authorization to enter into an agreement with SW Southern BOCES for 2024-2025 to bid jointly for supplies, commodities, materials, and equipment?
Motion.
second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 9.12, approval for athletic trainer to travel to New Orleans, Louisiana?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
Can we get a little bit of an explanation for that?
It looks like it's
It
an
is.
athletic train, National Athletic Trainer Association, and he's going in, Semino's going to New Orleans.
Okay. All right.
You good?
Yeah, okay. All right, Rita.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 10.1?
Wait, can I ask a clarifying question? 9.1,
We're gonna get back to that after.
okay, very good. Just want to make sure, because that's where all the money's at, no pun
We're gonna put
intended.
it back on the floor.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't vote on it?
No, because it didn't pass.
Yeah. Okay, so I can have a motion for 10.1, authorization to revise the advertisement of the Mount Vernon City School District's legal notification of the annual school board budget vote election held on Tuesday, May 21st.
Motion.
Second. Third.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 10.1, authorization to revise Resolution 11.6 from the November 7, 2023 board meeting, establishment of final date for receiving petitions of nominations for annual school board budget vote election to be held on May 21st, 2024.
Second.
10.2. What did I say, 10.4? Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Oppose? Abstain?
What's the new date?
Motion carries.
What's the new date?
Can I have a motion for 10.3, establishment of the annual school board budget vote election, early mail vote ballot procedures?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 10.4, authorization to revise Resolution 11.5 from the November 7, 2023 board meeting, establishment of the 3 terms of office for members of the Board of Education annual board budget vote election, May 21st.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 10.5, authorization to enter into an agreement with the County of Westchester?
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 10.6, the first reading for policy number 6115, workplace violence prevention law regarding schools?
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? Skinner.
The batteries are dead.
Good evening, everyone. So on January 9th, New York State passed a new law asking that all school districts create a policy called Workplace Violence Prevention Law regarding school. This law is very complex and has several steps. So according to New York State, the district, not by February 3rd, we missed the deadline because we did not have a board meeting until today, had to, 1, create a policy. By March 4th, we had to do a risk assessment. We are currently working on the risk assessment. Mr. Carpenter has been doing the risk assessment, and I will explain a little more. By March 19th, every district employee must have received this policy, review it, and have been trained to comply to this policy. On March 13, we will have the first set of PD to train the staff, and before the 18th, every person who walks in the Mount Vernon City School District who interacts with children, work here, or is a contractor will be trained. By May 3rd, we have to be fully compliant. So the policy states, pursuant to New York State Labor Law 27-B, the Mount Vernon City School District has issued the following Workplace Violence Prevention Policy Statement. Under 12 New York CRR Part 800.6, define workplace violence as physical assault or act of aggression behavior occurring where a public employee perform any work-related duties during their employment, including but not limited to an attempt or threat, whether verbal, physical, to inflict physical injury upon an employee. Any intentional display of force that would give an employee reason to fear or expect bodily harm. Intentional and wrongful physical contact with a person without their consent that entails some injury. Stalking an employee with the intent of causing fear or material harm to the physical safety and health of such employee, when such stalking has arisen through on the course of employment. Our Associate Superintendent of Human Resources is the compliant person and is the person you should inform if there are any complaint. Violation of this policy may result in disciplinary action against the offending employee, up to including termination of employee. We are cross-referencing the 5300, which is the Code of Conduct, Policy 3430, the School and Educational Climate, Policy 5680, Safety and Security. At the 24-25 school year, this policy will also be part of our district safety plan. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
You said all school employees, contractors, and consultants?
Including board members. So before the next board meeting, if this is passed tonight, tomorrow morning, every building principal will receive a copy. They will also be directed at their faculty meeting to go over the policy with their staff. Staff members will sign that it was given to them, it was reviewed. At the PDs, attendance will be taken, and staff will have to sign that they were trained and they were told about the behavior expectation of this new policy statement. I will work with Ms. James to do the same with the school board.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Now have a motion for 10.7, authorization to waive the second reading for policy 6115, workplace violence prevention law regarding schools, and immediately adopt. Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. We're going to bring back to the floor 9.1. Okay. Motion. So can I have a motion for 9.1, approve general funds transfers 2023-2024 from March 5th, 2024?
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, can I have a motion for 11? Okay, go ahead.
Before you say it. Before I say it? Yeah. So, just give me 1 second. I want to just bring to the attention of the community that the board interviewed 4 candidates for the open trustee seats, and we will be making a decision this evening in executive committee as to the candidate who we're going to select to serve on the board. Thank you.
Okay. Can I have a motion for 11.1? Motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation, the financial history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and to receive legal advice on a pending matter. Just, can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much for coming out to a meeting, and have a good evening. Get home safely. Good night. Good evening again. My name is Lorna Kerwin, the school board president. At the end of the last meeting just recently, I had announced that the trustees interviewed 4 candidates for the trustee board, the trustee vacancy. I want to say that we have decided to hold off on choosing a candidate because we have not gotten the majority of the vote for one individual. So we will hold off on selecting a candidate for the trustee seat and wait for the election in May. Thank you.